Blessed love. Welcome back, Wiseheart. Thank you for joining me today. I'm just sending love out to everybody, but um, yeah, welcome back to Wiseheart's Garden, a place where together we plant seeds of curiosity, compassion, courage, and community and into our lives, one season and one practice at a time. I'm outside, so I'm trying to figure out like the best way to join you if I need to turn this around. But because I'm experimenting with life, we're gonna try it this way for a little bit and see how that works. So um, I have been sharing some different reflections and um, have gotten some feedback. And I had a question from Destiny in regards to how I think the question was, how do I know or how have I known that I am growing? Um, how do I know I have grown in my journey? And and it was interesting because it brought up so much for me. I'm still looking to see if I want to go somewhere else, but for right now, we're just gonna be right here. So thank you, Destiny, for the question. I actually think you touched on something that I've been noticing in myself lately, and um, I wanted to I wanted to speak to that and what I have been noticing. So earlier in my own journey, I really appreciated when others reflected back to me that they noticed things like you're so intentional about your life. And those types of reflections help me to see changes in myself that I couldn't always recognize on my own. So, Destiny, I think it's good that you have people reflecting back to you right now when you're not able to see things for yourself. These days, I notice my growth differently. And so, one of the clearest signs is when I encounter something that would have activated an old reaction from me, and I realize the reaction isn't there in the same way, and that I respond differently than I would have before. And I'm so grateful to be able to see that. And I'm also noticing that I'm consciously choosing myself over and over again. And what that means for me is that I give myself an opportunity to pause, to slow down, because I've been so quick to be reactive in the past. And so, in giving myself that space, that sacred pause, and slowing down, like I'm able to check in with myself, something I was not doing before. And I'm also listening to what I feel. And I'm making choices that honor what I know about myself. And so um, I'm beginning to trust myself. I am trusting myself. And while it's not 100%, because I still have moments where old patterns show up, but I can see that I am living, differently now. I am more intentional. And I think that's one way that I recognize my own evolution, not by becoming a completely different person, but by noticing that I'm responding to life as a different version of myself. And that makes me so happy that I can actually see that this isn't an older version of Weta. And yeah, and I'm responding differently. And I love that you said you sometimes recognize your own growth when somebody else reflects it back to you. And Yeah, I think both can be true, right? That you're able to see something because somebody is sharing what they see, and you also, if you're able to slow down, noticing how you are making different choices. And so I know you ask about prompts or questions that notice that help to notice your growth. And so I've got a few questions, Destiny. Um, how did I respond to this situation compared to how I might have reacted in the past? Um, I love technology and all that I am learning. That's just something that we do sharing. Okay, back to my questions. Did I pause before responding? Did I give myself a sacred pause? Did I slow down? And did I stay connected to myself, or did I leave myself? Did I honor what I was feeling, or did I override myself? And again, did I leave myself? Did I make a choice that felt more aligned with who I am becoming, or a familiar, older version of myself? What am I doing now that once felt difficult or impossible? And this is one of my favorite ones, because it hasn't been that long ago that I don't recognize things that, felt difficult for me to do in the past that feel much more easeful now for me. Where am I trusting myself more? And definitely for me, I'm making decisions differently than I have. I'm asking more questions, gaining more clarity than I have in the past. So all of these things are building capacity to be with life. And what old patterns are becoming easier to recognize? These are some of the questions that I think may be helpful. They are for me. Can I notice growth even when I still have more growing to do? Because as long as we have breath and a desire, I think we'll continue to grow and expand. And so, can I notice? A lot of times I might not notice until I'm on the other side of something. So I think that's another great question. And another thing I wanted to share is that um, maybe, the question isn't always, am I growing? But maybe it's, what is different about the way I am meeting life? What is different about my capacity to be with situations that in my past it was very hard for me to be with? And what would the former version of me have done here? And that may be helpful for you to look back on. And none of this is, to judge former versions of ourselves, um, because for me, I love all the versions because they have ushered me to this place in my life. And so, um, no judgment, no criticism. We're just noticing, right? And then, like, what did I choose this time? Former me may have held on to like some disappointment for days. That has been my truth. And now that isn't the case. I am pausing, I am feeling, I am communicating differently, and I'm able to let those emotions, energy in motion, let them move through me. And then I'm able to return to that baseline of feeling content, or a place of ease that hasn't always been the case. And so that's my evidence. That's my way of seeing that, yes, I have grown. because this isn't where I have been. This isn't what has been familiar to me. And it is becoming more and more familiar. So I'm grateful for that. And I'm trying to think of what else I wanted to share in regards to this. It's not like I just woke up one day and said, "Ooh, I have grown. I have evolved. I am not doing the same thing." But instead, I'm noticing like I didn't abandon myself. I didn't leave. I didn't resort to this behavior. And like I said, it's not 100%. So I don't even want to like make it like I have all the answers or anything. I'm just sharing my own experience. I'm just noticing like I didn't react to this the way that I have in the past. Um, you know, it could be something where I asked for what I needed instead of being silent. When people ask me how I am being honest and telling them. And I had a situation yesterday where I had an appointment with someone. I had been looking forward to it. And then I have two family members that are ill, a friend whose husband passed away. And I was feeling the weight of all of that, feeling heavy. I was feeling sad, um, some shock. And the realization that I wanted to go and to this appointment, but I felt like I needed to be doing something else. And so what did I do? I contacted the person and said, today is not my day and I'm not going to be able to make it. And before I went to check in on my family, I went and took care of myself. I went to the gym, I went to the sauna. And when I left, because I allowed myself to pause. I communicated what I needed to communicate. I allowed myself to feel the emotions. And then I exercised, I moved my body. And so all of those things helped that energy to move. And I was able to see, like, yeah, this is different than what I have done in the past. I would have maybe gone on to that appointment and held in what I was feeling. I may have still pushed myself to go visit my family, but I would have been like exhausted and depleted. And so it was different. I chose differently. I trusted myself to make a different choice. And I'm so grateful. And these are the moments, all of these things like are our evidence that we're growing. And so, are you able to, or have you been able to hear something that I've shared that may have been like, okay, I just did this thing. Hopefully something here may have been a benefit for you. And so, yeah, or you could even look, at a week and say, what did I notice um, that I, responded to differently this week? What might an earlier version of me have done? And yeah, so I'm hoping that this is helpful for you. I wanted to respond to you. And I thank you for the question. It wasn't in the comments. Destiny contacted me personally and asked the question. And so, again, I want this to be a place of conversation. And if you have any questions or if there's anything that you're dealing with that you would like to bring to the garden, please do. And when we come to the garden, you know, come prepared to settle in for a little bit, to get comfortable, to bring your favorite drink. I just brought water today. Um, it was a lot to maneuver to get outside. And so I'm just grateful for your presence here. If you're still here, please like, share, and subscribe. Join us again in the garden. Sending you so much love. And I look forward to joining you here again in the garden. Take good care.